Mickey Wright, according to Ben Hogan, had the finest golf swing he ever saw. And her wonderful book has been influential all my life as a golf instructor. And in fact, it predates my involvement in golf because my mother learned to play using the book the way Mickey Wright actually intended, which was to prop it up near you and look at the pictures and copy them. And I did the same thing subsequently when I got bitten by the bug. And so let's talk a little more about that wonderful book.
In Mickey Wright's book, she recounted her history with the game, how she learned first to throw a ball because her father, a good athlete, gave her a mitt and a golf baseball, and they would throw balls back and forth. And obviously the throwing action, albeit overhand, is, and I refer back to the trebuchet being a siege engine which throws a rock at a castle wall this way. If you flip it upside down, that's the motion of a golf swing. Also, throwing the ball this way has many analogues in the golf swing. And so she was a good athlete, apparently able to walk at 9 months old, and throw a ball and do it very fast and catch it. So she had her first lesson from Johnny Belanti in La Jolla in Southern California. He was also the instructor for Gene Littler, the 1961 US Open champion. And he gave her what she described as a switch. Now, clearly for me, reading this book after many years, several of the things that she found valuable learning to play the game, I adopted to teach golf. And a switch, another word for a stick or a cane, apparently he found, he made one out of eucalyptus, which is a wood very common here in California, which is quite dense and heavy, is how I actually learned to teach the basics of the swing by giving somebody actually the wrong end of the golf club, essentially a stick, and saying, can you make it loud and fast? And that's how she gained an understanding of how to move the club quickly. But she was also interested in balance and rhythm, not to mention the speed that she was developing by doing that. And she related how she learned to hit balls from Johnny with standing on one leg, which I generally don't use because it's a little too challenging and I think a little risky, unless you're an excellent athlete, as she obviously was. But certainly with the feet touching together. And so I often have people learn how to swing with their feet together because it allows them to learn how to balance, make speed, and do it with rhythm. And I usually have them touch their feet together and have the ball in front of the left foot and actually allow them to hit golf balls once I'm confident that they can do it and maintain their balance well enough to be safe. Now, the speed is taken care of with the stick, the balance with the feet together, and the rhythm in golf can be described, and she does in her golf book, as being a continual rising of speed. So it starts slow, gets bigger and bigger, and gets loudest as you hit the golf ball. And she, like many great champions, started the swing by what they called a forward press. Now, if you look at Gary Player, for instance, South African champion, he would kick his right knee in and then initiate the backswing as a response to that. And that was very commonly how it was done. They call it a forward press because some golfers actually incorporated a slight leftward movement of the hands involved in that same process. And I see Tiger Woods do subtle versions of that. So kicking the knee in and then using the reciprocal of that to start the backswing is how you generated this rhythm in the swing. And not to mention initiated in a way that was consistent, balanced, and eventually speedy. So I use all of those things in my teaching, and I realize now that I got them a lot from her book.